Hey everyone, Cole here, and in this video we're going to be walking through, well honestly, we're going to do a multi-part series, diving into n8n, what it is, how you use it, the benefits, and all of the extra goodies that you're going to be able to get using an ecosystem like this comparatively to something like Zapier or Make, which typically build out extremely linear flows and actually dramatically limit your ability to scale and optimize, as well as are really expensive. n8n is free. You can host it with providers like us, or you can go and pay to use n8n's ecosystem where they host and keep it all secure. And so in this video, we're going to walk through how to do the foundational basics and showing you what's possible. So what we need to do is, I will say in this video, I'm not going to dive into how to get it like hosted and completely set up. I want to dive into how you're able to actually start using it, because some of the other stuff we'll clearly document in another video. So once we've gotten into our n8n instance, we're going to come up here to create a workflow, and we're going to hit new workflow, and then we're going to be met with a page just like this. Now, if you've seen any of our other videos for like something like Zapier or Make, you will know that this is sort of like your sequence. This is your hub for how and where things are going to be automated. Now, similarly to Makeyear or Zape, we have a bunch of different ways we can start our automation or our workflow or our sequence. And in this, that's exactly what we're going to put together. So we have our first step. So in our first step, we have a bunch of different ways we're able to do this, where it's manual, on app event, on a schedule, so we have a consistent time frame of when we want things to run. We have a specific webhook call. So maybe you could have a front-end application where you've got a whole interface or a dashboard or like a Chrome extension, or maybe you've got a little thing on a mobile device or an external device in front of you, and you want to be able to call and push and receive information. Form submission. This actually has a built-in form that you're able to use. And then we have something for connecting with other workflows, chat messages, and a bunch of other really cool ways. In this example, to keep things simple and help you guys get yourself moving forward pretty quickly, we're going to use on chat message. So again, chat message here is always going to do the following. So let's see here. In the chat message, we're able to pass general data, but really what this is going to be is giving us the ability to, actually hold on, let me open this up, unpin that, we don't want that. Is this going to give us the ability to open up a chat box and go, hello, say whatever we want, blah, 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 right? And you'll see it executed successfully, but there's nothing else that was done. But what's really cool is it gives us the ability to communicate and interact with our ecosystem, our workflow, and then test things and iteratively improve them. So once you've gotten something in here to work, you're then going to be able to use all of those other triggers to expand on it and make it even better. Great, so we understand the very basics of this chat. Now we want to go through and add the really, really cool piece, which is AI agents. It's all the buzz. It's what everyone's talking about. It's all the really cool pieces, right? So in here we have AI. Then we have AI agent. Again, as it says, it helps you to generate an action plan, executes it, and then helps you to actually connect with external tools. So we're going to use this one. And you'll see here it's connected to the chat node. That's the module that we just shown you, right? And the chat node passes one of many things. We have a session ID. Think of like the unique login ID that you're using when you go and get into your Gmail or your Facebook page or whatever platform. You then have the action that it's doing, right? In chat, we are doing one thing, which is sending a message to the AI agent. And then we have what we sent. So that's that chat input. And then right here, prompts user message. It is doing just that. It's taking the user's message and then going, what do they say? What do they want, right? And so before we dive into everything, I want to call out something. So this here is JSON. And JSON is a really important foundational piece to understand. It should be pretty quick and easy to actually understand how it's done. But you'll see in here, it's got basically what we'll call a simple variable, right? Where it's like strings or arrays, so a series of numbers or a packet of a bunch of different lists, we'll say. And so, you know, in the session ID, this is just a single input. Action is a single input. And then we have our chat input, which is a single input. And so being able to process this information is actually really easy for AI and AI agents because it breaks it out, provides context, clarity, and then has something that we can then modulate and reference to, right? So we can tell it we're providing a chat input, and this is what they said. Great. So we've done that. We understand that. We're now going to try this again. We're going to hit OpenAI agent, or not OpenAI, but we're going to come in here and say hello. And you'll see that we had a problem, right? So I told you that it's going to be able to process information. It understood that we've done things, but it doesn't have something for it to actually process and reason. So how do we go through and do that? Well, we're going to come over here to chat model, click the plus sign here, and in here, we'll have a series of different AI models. What's really cool with this, especially with n8n, you're able to actually have your own model that's locally hosted. So if you've got a screaming fast computer or really good ecosystem, you've provided a bunch of training data that's unique to you and what you wanted to communicate with, and you don't just want to be giving out all of your personal data to all these other models for them to further train and improve their own, you can use your local one. Outside of that, you also have access to these other modules that you already probably loving and using, such as like Claude or DeepSeek or Google Gemini or OpenAI. So for this instance, we're going to go through and use OpenAI's chat model. So all we do, we click on it, and out of the gate, you're not going to have an account. All you do is you go over to OpenAI. If you don't have a video on this, I will make sure that you guys can find a video. There are a ton of really good videos out here showing you how to do this, but create a new credential. You'll capture your OpenAI key, and you shouldn't have to change anything else, but really putting this in. So then you're going to hit save. It's going to validate it. Validate it, and once it's done, it will be available in your dropdown. So in this instance, we're going to choose our OpenAI account. We can choose from all of the OpenAI modules, but we don't need any of them right now. We're going to keep it nice and simple. We're just going to do OpenAI's 4.0 mini. It's pretty fast, pretty cost effective, a little amount of waste. It's going to cost us like maybe pennies for us to run things. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hit save. We're going to close this chat out. We're going to refresh it, and we're going to try this again. Hello, how are you? So what happens here is the AI agent comes in, takes the chat input that we've received or that it's received, understands that it needs to probably get that information processed to get more context and clarity, to understand if maybe we are just communicating with it like we just did here, or we're asking it to do something or to provide us more information. So in here, we have OpenAI getting processed, and then it comes back with this. I'm here, I'm ready to help you. How can I assist you today? Fantastic. Well, that's great. But if I wanted to go through and go, hey, by the way, my favorite color is blue. Great, fantastic. And now let's try one thing else. We're going to say, what is my favorite color? It does not know. Why is that? You know, when we talk with ChatGPT and OpenAI, we can sit there and have these super long texts and messages, and it's able to, at least to some degree, retrieve that information. Well, what's happening here is that you're doing a single input. It's going to the AI agent, and it's going and processing that one input and then providing you a response. It's not looking at the entire log of messages and then recalling from what you've told it. But let's say we want to do that. Well, we need to go over to this thing called memory. Just as we are, right? We have to have something to process information, not just regurgitate. So we're going to come in here, click the plus sign, and we're going to see that we have a variety of options. Now for this example, and for many of your instances, as you're getting yourself started, you're going to use simple memory, which is the built-in memory that comes with n8n, and it gives you a foundation. So what are we looking at here? Well, we can validate a couple things. So we've looked at these things before. We see that it's connected to that chat trigger node, which is the very first way that we're actually communicating with it, right? Because these modules that we're connecting to the AI agent are having to reference where it's coming from, like where we are connecting and communicating to it. So we're giving it where we're coming from. It's still pulling in. So here's where that unique ID came from. So it's pulling in that unique session ID. The reason it does that is if your session ID doesn't match the session IDs tied to, say, your OpenAI, it's not going to be able to pull in this chat input correctly, right? Because it needs to be able to look at the logs of that session ID and all of the interactions and inputs and outputs that have come from it. So then you also see here this context window length. Think of this as its short-term memory. Again, it's simple memory. Its ability to recall the amount of depth. How far back is it able to actually process information? So in here, it's got a window length of 5, which means we have 5 inputs and outputs they're able to do with the n8n instance. So when we go in here, we test it, and we're able to do 5 communications forward and back, and then I go and retrieve something or try to retrieve something on the 6th instance, it's going to sort of go blank, right? It's only going to be able to do 5 back. So if my very first thing, right, I'll show you, and we'll do it again. We're going to close this. We're going to hit save. I'm actually just going to reload the page just to make sure it's 100% up to date. We're going to hit open chat. We're going to go through and do this right now. We're going to say, hey, my fave color is blue. Great. So we've told it that information. We're just going to say some random stuff. Muffin Man. Another one is, have you subscribed? Have you subscribed? If not, please subscribe. Seriously, it would be very helpful. I would love it if you could end my video and tell me your thoughts on how this is. Great. And then let's do one more thing. I love apples and bananas. By the way, what is my color again? And boom. So I've given it all this information. I've had my little conversation with it. I told you to subscribe. I told it to subscribe and put some comments down below. And then I went and asked, what's my favorite color? Well, we put it in there in the first instance and it's already forgot it. Well, why is that? Because we've had multiple inputs and outputs here. And as you see here, it's only got so much context. But if I go and say, do I like apples? Yes, you've mentioned you love apples. So it sounds like you do. Great. What that means is it's able, because within the 5 simple memory blocks, right? Here it is. It's able to go, oh, this is what you said. I heard it before. I'm recalling this information. I'm retrieving it. I'm processing it. I'm analyzing it. And I'm giving you a specified output. Fantastic. So we have a foundational little agent here that we're now able to talk to, have some context, have some clarity, able to recall things that we've given it. But we need it to be a little better. Let's say we want it to understand who we are and when we're talking to it. So that way it's able to better process and understand maybe some time and place, or who we are, what we're doing, and it's sort of the types of goals and outcomes that we want it to do. So how do we do that? Well, we don't need to do it here, and we don't need to do it here. We need to come in here into the AI agent. We're going to give it deeper knowledge and understanding of what it is that we want it to do so it does a better job at giving us outputs. So we're going to come in here. We're going to add an option. We're going to do system message. Now, n8n inherently has a foundational message in here. It's like you're a helpful assistant. But let's elevate this. Now, I'm not going to do a full breakdown of all the prompting. That almost needs to be a whole video itself and could be multiple hours long. But we're going to do some very basic stuff. Let's go in here and say you're a helpful assistant. Your name is Bob, and I would like you to always introduce yourself when we start talking. You are talking to Cole, who's a chill guy, and you don't have to say and. We could just say the current date and time is, and here all of this is just text, right? So we're able to just sit here and provide all of this information. But what happens if we want to give it current date and time? Well, it needs to be a dynamic piece, right? It needs to be, well, a variable. Well, as we talked about before, how does platforms like this, process that information? Well, it processes it typically through something like JSON, because JSON's been widely used, it's well adapted, well established. So instead of us doing fixed that you see is currently connected, we're gonna go and hit expression. And now you'll see here, we're gonna have this ability to put in these little curly brackets, and then boom, this whole thing pops up. So you have all these little modules and options, but in this one, we're just gonna click now, because now references to, well, what the current time is, right? So we're able to give it context and clarity. And so in here, you see the basic prompt, and then down here, you're gonna see the expected result. Hey, you're a helpful assistant. Your name is Bob. You would like you to always introduce yourself when we're talking. You're talking to Cole, who's a chill guy. The current date and time is, guess what? Date time, right? This is capturing it from the n8n server or connection that you're built into. So it's going to be unique to there. What you'll need to do, and we'll walk through this, is when you're getting yourself set up, you want to make sure that the time zone is matching when you are doing stuff. But this is fine. So we're going to hit this. We can save that. That's good. We're going to hit save one more time. We're going to open up chat. We're going to reload it. Actually, we're going to reload this page one more time. I always like reloading it, just make sure that we have the right stuff. Should be like, hey there, I'm Bob, your helpful assistant. How's it going, Cole? I am great. Can you tell me date and time? Fantastic. So now it's able to do something that's really cool. It's able to give us context clarity, tell us who it is, understands who we are, and understands who it's talking to, right? As well as the date and time. And then we're gonna work on this one in the following video, but here soon, we're now gonna be able to use this foundational information that it has to then connect it to tools to do some really cool things for us. So if you wanna watch that, stick around. In a new video we're going to be putting out here very soon, we're going to be diving into this even more. I hope this video has been great for you. If you have any comments or questions or need more information, let me know. Put it down in the comments below. But this is a great starting point for you to getting yourselves kickstarted with n8n. And again, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much.